A single dad lost a bet and had to live with an obese girl. What happened next changed everything. The title alone pulls you in, right? But trust me, the story goes far deeper than you expect. No one in town really understood why Alex, a 35-year-old single father with a calm smile and tired eyes, even agreed to the bet in the first place. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was his best friend's relentless teasing. Or maybe, just maybe, life was already so chaotic that he convinced himself one more unexpected twist wouldn't break him. But when he lost, the consequence wasn't something small. He had to let a girl named Mira move into his home for 3 full months. She wasn't a stranger exactly, but she wasn't someone he knew either. What he knew of her came from whispers, half-jokes, and unfair assumptions. Mira was 19, introverted, painfully shy, and overweight to a degree that made her the target of constant gossip. People didn't talk to her, they talked about her. And if that wasn't heavy enough, she carried loneliness like a second skin. Alex didn't know her story. He only knew this: he wasn't allowed to say no. The bet was clear. A deal was a deal. And his 12-year-old son, Liam, had no idea what was coming. From the moment Mira stepped into their small home, clutching her worn-out backpack to her chest like it was armor, the atmosphere shifted. Not bad. Not good. Just unfamiliar. Alex tried to be polite. Welcome. You can take Liam's old room. We can set up a new bed tomorrow. She nodded without looking at him. Not out of disrespect, just fear. Her eyes stayed on the floor. Her breathing was unsteady. Her very presence shook with apology. Liam peeked from behind the living room doorway, curious but cautious. Dad, is she staying for long? Myra's shoulders stiffened, as if she wanted to disappear. Alex exhaled slowly. For 3 months, he said. We'll make it work. He didn't know then how deeply that promise would root itself in their hearts. The first week was awkward. Mira only came out of her room early in the morning or late at night. She ate quietly, cleaned constantly, and apologized for things she didn't even do. Alex noticed she barely ate. Food wasn't a comfort to her, it was a war. Every meal seemed to come with guilt heavy enough to crush anyone. Liam, young but observant, watched her from a distance. One evening, as Alex washed dishes, his son asked in a small voice. Dad, why is she so sad? Alex froze because he didn't know. Not really. Maybe she just needs time, he finally said. Sometimes people carry things we can't see. Liam nodded, but his eyes lingered on the hallway where Mira had disappeared moments earlier. Everything changed one rainy night. The storm outside growled like it had something to prove. Liam was asleep. Alex was finishing late paperwork at the dining table when he heard soft, muffled crying. It came from the kitchen. He stood, following the sound quietly, and found Mira sitting on the floor, hugging her knees, tears falling silently. She flinched when she saw him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. You're not bothering me, he said gently. Hey, what's wrong? For a second, she looked like she might lie, say she was fine, insist it was nothing. But something in Alex's voice, something patient and steady, broke the wall she'd kept up for years. I don't belong here, she whispered. I don't belong anywhere. Her voice cracked. Her breath shook. Her pain spilled out. I know people talk about me, she said. I know what they call me. I know I take up too much space. I know I'm a burden. And I don't want to be one here too. Alex knelt beside her, not too close, giving her space. You're not a burden, he said quietly. This house, it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But no one here wants you to disappear. Mira looked at him with disbelief, like no one had ever said those words to her. Then she whispered the truth she had never Dared to say aloud. My parents left last year. Not literally, but they gave up on me. I overheard my mom say she didn't recognize me anymore. My dad said I was too much drama. So I stopped talking. Stopped going out. Stopped everything. Her tears fell harder. I don't know how to exist without disappointing everyone. Alex felt something ache in his chest, an ache he recognized. Because he had been there too. He knew what abandonment felt like. He knew loneliness. He knew the weight of expectations. Mira, he said softly, you're not disappointing us. You're just trying to survive. And surviving is not a failure. She met his eyes, truly met them, for the first time. Why are you being so nice to me, she whispered. He didn't know how to answer without exposing his own scars. So he said the simplest truth. Because kindness is the one thing I can always choose. And right now, you need it. Something in her broke. Something else began to heal. After that night, things changed, not instantly, but slowly, in tiny steps that mattered. Mira started joining them for breakfast. She laughed occasionally. She talked to Liam, who found her stories fascinating. She wasn't the girl staying with them anymore. She was becoming part of their rhythm. One Saturday morning, Alex found Liam and Mira sitting on the couch, watching old cartoons. Liam asked, why don't you draw anymore? Mira tensed. How did you know I used to draw? You doodled in the corner of the grocery list, he said simply. It was good. She looked down, shy but touched. I stopped because people always look surprised. Like someone like me shouldn't do pretty things. Alex jumped in. Well, I'd like to see more. She glanced at him, uncertain, but the hope in her eyes flickered back to life. And so, she drew. She drew quietly at first. Tiny sketches. Little portraits of Liam and Alex. Flowers. Scenes from her imagination, full of colors she thought she no longer deserved. When she showed them her first finished drawing, a soft watercolor of the three of them sitting at the dining table, Alex felt his breath catch. It wasn't perfect. But it was honest. And it was beautiful. You have a gift, he said. Mira swallowed hard, holding the paper like it might break. No one ever said that before. He smiled. Then I'm glad I get to be the first. But life is never a straight path. One afternoon, as Mira walked home from a short errand, she overheard two women whispering near the bakery. That girl's living with Alex now. Poor guy. He's too kind for his own good. She's probably just using him. And his kid, imagine the embarrassment. Mira stopped in her tracks, the words slicing through her. All the progress she'd made, all the warmth she'd felt, it faltered. She returned home quiet, withdrawn, barely speaking during dinner. Alex noticed immediately. Later that night, he knocked softly on her door. Can I come in? A pause. Then a soft, yeah. She sat on the edge of the bed, facing away. You heard something today, he said gently. It's written all over your face. Her breath hitched. I don't fit here, she whispered. I don't fit anywhere. People see me and they think I'm a joke. A burden. A mistake. Alex sat in the chair across from her. Mira. Look at me. She did, reluctantly. I don't care what anyone else thinks of you. I care about who you are in this house. With us. With yourself. Her eyes filled with tears. But why does it hurt so much? Because you're human, he said softly. And humans bruise where they've been wounded before. She covered her face with her hands, shaking. Maybe I should leave. Liam's small voice came from the hallway. You can't. Both turned. He stepped into the room, clutching a drawing she'd made for him, a little comic strip about a superhero kid. You make this house better, Liam said, voice trembling. Don't go. Myra's heart broke open in a way that didn't destroy her. It set her free. She gathered him in her arms, crying into his hair. I won't, she whispered. I promise. From that night forward, something shifted inside her, not in her body, but in her spirit. She started taking walks not to lose weight, but to feel the sun again. She cooked meals with Alex and learned his quiet jokes. She helped Liam with homework and encouraged his silly dreams. And slowly, she stopped apologizing for existing. Alex noticed the change, not in her size, but her presence. Her laughter filled the house. Her art filled the walls. Her empathy filled the spaces grief used to occupy. One evening, as they all sat on the porch watching the sunset, Mira whispered. This place saved me. Alex shook his head. You saved yourself. We just gave you room to breathe. She looked at him, really looked, and for a moment, neither of them spoke. Because sometimes silence is the place where healing finally feels real. But the real change came at the end of the 3 months. The day she was supposed to move out. Boxes sat by the door. Her sketchbook rested on top. Alex felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He didn't want her to go. Liam didn't either, his eyes were already glossy. Mira stood awkwardly, wringing her hands. I guess, this is goodbye, she said softly. Liam ran forward and hugged her tight. Can't you stay? Her voice cracked. I want to. More than anything. Alex stepped closer, heart pounding with a realization he hadn't let himself feel until now. This wasn't just a countdown, he said. These